And of course, all of you wonderful people for coming. So, like you said, I'm Karen. I'll be your host and first comic of the evening. So do we have any Penn State fans in the crowd? Really? Ted? Okay. Well, you know it's time to hit the showers at Penn State when the big hand touches the little hand. And did you know McDonald's is coming out with the Mixed Sandusky burger? It's basically an old piece of meat in between fresh buns. Yum. Right. So, sorry. Not a clean comic. Is that okay with you guys? All right. All right. I feel so at home. So as you can see, I'm Asian, right? You all guess Asian? I mean, I know, but you guys, I have put on some weight lately, which I'm sensitive about, and so some people actually guess Mexican. F you guys. And you know, just so you know, guys, I mean, I don't do all this to be called cute and cuddly. I mean, hello, what am I, a teddy bear with titties and an ass? Fun for the whole family. No. So I'm actually Korean. Anyone who guessed Hmong, F you again. And I'm actually adopted too. Yeah, I grew up around all white people, so I feel right at home. Thank you. So growing up, my friends used to ask me, are you from North or South Korea? What? Have you not read a history book in the last 30 years? I mean, we're not like Sarah Palin, right? We know North Korea is communist. I mean, they keep that shit on lockdown, okay? Nothing gets out of North Korea, especially kids. Adopting a baby out of North Korea, that would be like the US having an all-black president. It's not gonna happen. Obviously, we know that, right, Herman King? Yeah. So then they asked me, well, what's it like to be adopted? Because, you know, those snots are all like have their birth parents with them, right? They didn't give them up, so. I'm like, well, you know, I mean, you feel grateful, but slightly rejected. Kind of like if not being molested by your stepdad. Grateful, slightly rejected. Because let's face it, kids will take any kind of attention they can get. It's true. So then they asked me, well, don't you want to find your birth parents? And I was like, no, not really. They're like, why not? Aren't you curious? No. I guess I kind of took the hint when they left me on the doorstep to an orphanage. But you guys, the good thing about being Asian, growing up around all white people in the Midwest, is that I could say anything and you guys would believe me. It's true. Because we're smart. We are. Except for those East Indians, Senthal. Well, they're smarter now. Now they're the new Asian. Whatever. I'm not gonna hate. So, but here's an example, okay? The last guy I dated was white. And I have this rule, no sex for 90 days. Don't get me wrong, he can go down on me at any time, okay? So one night, we're hanging out, and he gets a little frisky, pulls a Brett Favre and whips it out. And I'm like, whoa, baby, that's not going to physically fit inside me. And he believed me. Just saying, he wasn't the manager of Tom Thumb, just for fun, you guys. Now, the bad thing about being Asian, growing up around all white people, is that every guy I ever dated thought I wanted to love him long time. I love you guys and I hate you guys at the same time. No, I just want to come and for them to go. That's my idea of a happy ending. But you guys, sometimes good stereotypes can work against us. Like in the first grade, I actually failed math.
No.
My parents were pissed, you guys. They were like, we did not spend all this money on an Asian baby for you to suck at math. They wanted to send me back. Like they thought I was defective, right? Like they got a lemonasian or something. But now that I'm a parent, I get it, you know, because it's like, hey, it'd be like you or I adopting a baby from, say, Africa, and then you get them, and they can't swat the flies out of their own eyes. You're like, what the heck? Let me see those papers, right? Or, you know, Ethiopia, you get them and they're freaking obese. I want a refund all that money I sent over, come on. Right. So, can we all agree that there's no such thing as a normal family, guys? Yes?
Yeah.
Some of you are quiet. Okay. You're judging me. I can feel it. It's all right. But let me just say for me, like my first anal was a lot like the first beating I ever got. I know. Of course I didn't want it, but Dad gave it to me anyway. I guess you could say he really loved the shit out of me. But just in case you're on the fence, you guys, here's some clues that you might be from dysfunction, okay? Like if you find yourself in the donation bin when your parents weigh out at Goodwill, you might be from some kind of dysfunction. Or when you're in church on Sunday and your priest is offering you communion, but instead of taking it, you instinctively flinch. There's some dysfunction there. Or ladies, how about when we're watching Lifetime Movie Network with our girlfriends? We find ourselves instinctively critiquing the domestic violence scenes. We're like, girlfriend, you know that bruise does not turn purple right after you get punched in the face. It takes at least 2 to 3 days for that to happen. If you find yourself saying that, there's definitely some dysfunction there. Where are my single ladies? Come on! None? Are you guys single? You're single tonight. Come on, make some noise! I know there's some single people in here. It can't just be me. Okay, in my head it went, woo! Alright. Well, the great thing about being single is you get the bed to yourself. You can come and go as you please. I can wear granny panties all day long. No one's gonna say anything. But the bad thing is, ladies, we know, sometimes we just really need some dick. It's true. Oh, come on. I'm just being honest. You know, it's been too long when you're at the grocery store in the produce section, and you have to literally restrain yourself from putting it inside you. When everything around you starts to look like a phallic symbol, right? And hey, guys, I'm all for masturbation. I love it. It's great. I for one, I rub one out 2 to 3 times a day. Rub my clit like it's origami. Left, right, up, down. I mean, I've gotten so proficient at making love to myself. I'm thinking of taking my act on the road, going pro. My therapist says, oh, you suffer from chronic masturbation syndrome. She's like, oh, it's really getting out of hand. You need to learn to think outside your box. Whatever. But the bad thing about masturbation is I'm doing it to myself. So I know how it's going to start and how it's going to end with me smoking a cigarette, making myself lay in the wet spot. So you know what I wish I could do, you guys? I wish I could just detach my mind from my hand. So at least that way when I'm 2 fingers deep, at least it feels like someone else. And my friends were like, well, Karen, just sit on your hand and make it go numb. So I tried that, you guys. But it doesn't work. I mean, have you ever tried to move a part of your body after it goes numb? It's like this. I mean, you know, you look like a stroke victim trying to